This is MMA Oddsmaker.
All right, time to get rolling on today's Oddsbreaker segment. Let me introduce both of our guests. First, returning to the show, the host of the MMA Oddscast, pro gambler Luca Fury. Luca, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me on again.
Also returning back with us is pro MMA fighter and also very popular radio and TV personality, Frank Trigg. Frank, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you bringing me back in again.
All right, now both of you guys have been on the show several times, so you know how it works. But for those out there that do not, let me quickly explain. BetDSI.eu, our sponsored sportsbook, has donated a $5K bankroll to both guys. Now, they get to select from 4 fights today, bet $500 either on the favorite or the underdog. The fourth fight, the bonus fight, does not apply. Only the first 3 do towards the bankroll. Let's get started with today's show with UFC on Fox 6. That's what the featured fight card is here today. So we're going to start off first with a fight in the lightweight division, important fight, a lot of implications on the line here, between Donald Cerrone and Anthony Pettis. Guys, a very competitive fight. We're going to start off with Luca first. I'm opening Donald Cerrone, the very slight favorite, minus 130. The comeback's going to be even money on Anthony Pettis. Luca, give me your take, give me your bet.
Well, it's a very competitive fight. You know, you often hear the term, oh, these guys are mirror images of each other, but in this case, it really is true, even though that term is usually inaccurate. I mean, you go down pretty much every stat here, and it's very hard to find any differences. I do favor Donald Cerrone slightly, though, because if you look at both of their their past opponents, Donald Cerrone has faced a lot of strikers in MMA, where Anthony Pettis really hasn't really faced a lot. He faced Jeremy Stevens, where he actually didn't do very well against, and besides that, he's really only faced grapplers, rather. On the other hand, Donald Cerrone, he has faced a lot of strikers, and while some of them have given him troubles, he's also done very well against some of them. Mainly the guys who have given him trouble are the guys who can throw straight punches at a fast rate and can beat him to the punch, and I don't see Anthony Pettis being able to do that. Anthony Pettis, he's a very good striker, but I'm not sure that he's much faster than Donald Cerrone. I think Donald Cerrone, he is actually going to have a slight edge on the feet. I think everywhere else are about even except for the wrestling. I would also give a slight advantage to Donald Cerrone. So I think the fight will be very competitive, but I have to favor Donald here. Okay, so Luca is going to lay the slight juice on Donald Cerrone, minus 130. It's going to be $650 to win $500. Let's throw it over to Frank. Frank, what are your thoughts on this fight?
I agree with Luca, but I gotta say for different reasons. Like I do think that Donald Cerrone is going to win this fight, but I do think that Anthony Pettis does have the speed and the straight punches to beat Donald Cerrone on his feet. The difference is going to be the wrestling. Once Donald's not one of those guys that gets hit and then gets scared, and then he turns around and he starts to realize, oh, geez, I'm in trouble. Let me go ahead and take this guy down. Donald specifically makes you throw punches at him so he can take you down and put it onto the ground. He's a great submission artist, way better than Pettis is on the ground, top and bottom. So even if there's a slippage where Cerrone stands on top of a banana peel and falls to his back, Pettis is still in trouble. The one thing that Pettis has over everybody else is that he's got, we've all seen it, that amazing kick he does off the cage. He does those kind of kicks all the time. He is more athletic than Donald Cerrone, but Donald Cerrone is much smarter. And we've seen these fights, I don't care how athletic you are, it comes down to the smarter guy in these tough, close fights. Like I said, I agree with Luca that it's going to be Cerrone's going to win this fight. I just think that Pettis is overmatched in every category for different reasons.
Okay, so Frank is also going to go with Donald Cerrone here, laying the slight juice, $650 to win $500. Now, both of our guests do agree that Donald Cerrone does defeat Anthony Pettis at UFC on Fox 6 in what should be an ultra-competitive fight.
Well, that's it for another episode of MMA Oddsbreakers. I want to thank our Oddsbreaker guests Luca Fury and Frank Trigg, always bringing great information, and a big special thanks to MMA superstar Eddie Alvarez. Thanks for joining us, kid, and good luck with the rest of your career.
Also, for complete UFC on Fox 5 coverage, make sure you head over to MMAOddsbreaker.com. We'll have picks, previews, and a whole lot more. Also, follow us on Twitter at MMA Oddsbreaker. For Miguel Iturrate, I'm Nick Kalikas saying until next time, enjoy the fights.